What was it that made you want to take on the role of David?
To be perfectly honestly, initially I did not. When I so the role I wanted to take, for sure, because I think he's a bit of a complex character. I think he thinks he's doing right, and that's something that I would love to try and portray to an extent. But then I saw the actual play, and I got freaked out a little. Um, it's a scary thing to have to do. Um, I'm not giving away too much from the play that's not already in the blurb or anything like that, but I think so. There's a few things. One is every woman that I know has gone through some version of harassment or abuse or something. Every single woman, and that fact is crazy, and it's everyone that I've talked to. They've told me stories about it. So bearing that in mind, that's partly why I wanted to take on the role of David, so that this story is actually told, so that people see this side of it. Because I don't know how many men you talk to about these things, but some of them do just say, well, why don't they just leave? Why don't they just do this? Why don't they? And it's bullshit. Some fun reasons why I wanted to take on David, though, are I love psychological thrillers. I love Mads Mikkelsen in everything he plays as a villain. And I love competing in like games or sports or anything like that. And this role kind of puts a lot of those things together. Whereas if I can take it on in a way where I feel like I'm actually trying to get things out of people or trying to compete or trying to and not just do what happens in the play, all the ulterior motives, it could be quite an I was going to say fun, but just quite an interesting challenge to do.
Why should people come and watch You Won't Help Me?
We are actually at an interesting point in society where we are trying to teach young boys consent. We are trying to teach a whole population of younger people things that I wasn't actually taught, because the whole argument about consent started when I was at university, so that didn't happen in my school. And again, I've watched TV series before, things before where with kind of abusive relationships in them or things like that, and I think, well, why doesn't she just leave at that point? Why doesn't this happen? Why doesn't, if anyone, here's the pitch. Do you want to ask someone in an abusive relationship why they don't just leave? Come and see this show, because it's a lot more complex than you think. That's pretty much why I think some people should come and see it, to kind of open your eyes and have that full conversation for something you've never experienced. That's not to the women watching this, that's to the men.
Why do you think it's important that stories like this are told in theatre?
In theatre? Yeah, well, the story itself is, I mean, I think all actors would say the same thing. I love stories. Stories are so important, right? They let us feel things that we don't normally do, see things we don't normally see, try to understand things from different ways. I mean, stories go back way, right? When you think about Hansel and Gretel, don't go into the woods. That's what a story was trying to teach. This is trying to show people things they might not see themselves or have seen themselves, and this is why it's important for theatre, because if someone's actually gone through this themselves and comes to see it in a theatre, they can then talk to the cast about it afterwards, they can talk to the people about it afterwards, they can have that hopefully release that maybe they've never told anyone this kind of stuff before. Maybe it helps them have conversations with their partners about previous experiences. That's why I think it's, why this story and why in the theatre.
What are you looking forward to the most in the rehearsal process?
You people. You're all here. Honestly, the cast, hopefully. Getting to know some cool people. Working directly with the writer and actor, Phoenix, who's the main other person in the role. Exploring, again, it's that kind of idea a little bit of the darker side of my role and the villain side of my role, exploring how to tap into that in a safe environment where people actually are safe and respected, and being able to portray that is actually quite exciting. I don't know if that sounds bad, but it's actually quite exciting.
If you could choose 3 words to describe You Won't Help Me, what would they be?
3, cutting it down. Raw, infuriating, I want to say hopeful, but that's not for my character, but hopeful at points, yeah.